every square inch of that car, something when it rolled and got crushed, there was something messed up.
Yeah.
I hated that car every time it came in, but he sold it. He sold it, and of course, then the guy that bought it brought it to us, and he's like talking. I was like, dude, you realize this is like three different people, sewn together. This is a Frankenstein thing. And he's like, oh, it can't be. It can't be. It can't be.
Oh, wow.
You start showing him shit, and he's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
that's when you send it overseas.
Yeah, that's when you really make take out a high life insurance on it and roll it off the cliff.
Yeah.
Get it stolen and make sure it gets burned good. So,
that's terrible.
You
don't know what you're buying.
I was just telling Lewis earlier that picture of Mustang I posted, that Fox body. I found out the car had an LS in it.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, it was nasty. I mean, when he fired that thing up, that damn thing is like, I tell you, it's like it's a race car in the street. It was nasty.
What was it? Was it last week or the week? I can't remember. Went up to Jimmy Cone, and I had never seen so many blower cars running down that way. It was amazing. Really? I guess everybody's cashed out the 401 or whatever, but I cannot imagine how many blower cars are running around now. It's unbelievable. I guess with the technology in today that they've made them halfway streetable, I guess, so they could drive them. I just dumbfounds me how many blower cars are all running around now.
And they're all still going to tear up the front of the crank, snap crank pulleys, have accessory problems. There's probably only 3 to 5% of the blower cars that you saw at Jimmy Cone truly capable of driving to Maine and having a lobster dinner and driving back.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying it's amazing how many blower cars I see now.
What's amazing is the amount of blower and blower accessories that are becoming extremely affordable and accessible. I guess it's a supply and demand. All the people that have been hoarding that stuff for many years, it's now showing up in estate sales and whatnot. So,
or they've all gotten divorced and their wife is just throwing the shit out on the street.
There's one 471 blower core case. And then there's another 471 blower with the rotors and some end plates and a proper 471 intake manifold for a small block. The stuff is becoming very available. Now I just need to get bearings and gaskets. And then I got to make a drive system for it because I don't want a Gilmer belt drive. I want a V-belt drive like you would have had in the 50s and 60s. Long before all that technology. But the stuff is out there now unbelievably like it was ever before. And you're right. Now it seems to be everywhere.
You moved to Texas, Paul. You sound like Hank Hill from King of the Hill, but except for blowers and blower accessories.
Right.
Yeah, poor guy.
Thank you. I'm no longer a Yankee.
Yeah. All right, hon. You wait. It'll come out on you. Yeah. I don't know. But last week up there in Burtonsville, man, they probably we had close to 200 cars, man. It was packed. It was crazy. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for them to put the hammer down because they put all that shit in with the speed,
with that
car
new bill.
meet.
With that new bill.
With the new bill, I'm kind of waiting.
So, out of curiosity, because Annapolis is the state capital of Maryland, it's no longer my state capital, but I respect it still is the capital of Maryland. Sunday mornings at the city dock in Annapolis is a Cars and Coffee that is the snobby car guys. Sorry. I'll call it like it is. Annapolis Cars and Coffee is a bunch of snobs, with the exception of certain people that go over there that I know personally that go over there. They are not snobs. I have great respect for them. You know who you are. But everyone else over there is a snob. I wonder what's going to happen now when they start enforcing this car meet at Burtonsville, but don't enforce it in Annapolis.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's hard to say. I mean, they've done it before. They've come up and told us that we weren't welcome and we had to leave. And that was prior to a couple of the tuner boys tearing the parking lot up in the middle of the night. So, like I said, I don't know. I just when you start seeing signs about loud exhaust and they're pulling people over. Of course, now Ford, Mustang. Brianna drove one a couple of weeks ago, and she videotaped. She goes, "Look, I can piss the neighbors off like you used to, Dad." And they got a button on it that changes the sound.
Camaros too. The Dodgers.
They all have it, and
active exhaust or whatever.
Yeah, we used to install off-road exhaust on the Porsches. I mean, it was the same thing. You would. And it was great because half the guys wrecked the cars because when you went full throttle, it was like a cutout. It opened it up. So they'd be sitting there going full throttle and letting up. So it'd go bop them and cut off. By that time, they ran into the car in front of them because they were trying to, it was like, is there any way to keep this open longer? But, like I said, that's neither here or there. But these guys, like I said, it's crazy. I'd just like to see what happens. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm just making more of a deal out of it. It's just that I know they don't like it. They don't like it. I deal with it every day, man. They don't want auto repair businesses. They run these guys out of business. They make it difficult. These guys pay all kinds of god ugly taxes and services. And, back in the day, they used to come buy the used oil or buy the tires from these guys. Now these guys have to pay arm and a leg to get rid of this stuff. Yeah. Hell, I'm banned. I'm not even allowed to go to the dump anymore to take my used tires because I'm over my limit for the year. So I got to wait a effing year to get rid of tires. You know what I'm saying? So this whole place sucks with anything automotive, but I still love the crabs. So
I think you can pay Walmart to take tires.
Nah, dude.
Here by me, I could put them in the garbage as long as they're not on rims, and they'll take.
No, not here.
Not here, dude. I'll send them. You'll get a box, Ray.
Can't do it here, and if you go to the dump here, you have to have them separated and declare it because they've had one too many tire fires.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I went up there and unloaded, and the guy said, "That's you're past your limit." And I was like, "Look, dude, I got 9 cars, and they're 4 tires each, and I'm putting tires on, running through the mill. What am I supposed to do?"
Well, how did he know you were past your limit?
Because they have a picture of your tags.
Oh, okay.
When you pull in.
Gotcha.
Man, Montgomery County, man, they watch you take a piss, man. Come on.
So Ray,
I told the guy, I said, now you know why people drive out of the dump here and dump them out in front of them in the road because the road won't take them.
So Ray, all your garbage from New York City comes over to Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And Pennsylvania. So like right on the border here, we get all the trash. We got trucks coming in every day from New York.
What? Really?
That's what I wanted to say earlier that you all were talking about was the interstate commerce and how centralized Ohio is and how important Ohio is in the great battle. What people forget is going back, it's the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal, the C&O Canal, for a reason. And it was to get the stuff out of Ohio into the shipping lanes off the Chesapeake Bay.
Yep.
It was to get all the goods from
Yep.
that central location, like you were saying. You were coming down out of Erie, Pennsylvania, and out of the Great Lakes, and out of St. Louis, and all that. It was a commerce trade hub, and it also went along with a lot of manufacturing. It was really a good part of the backbone of where society is today in America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, before we had the highway system.
History, because they can't have us educated. They teach us this stuff, then we will know what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Money. That's all about.
Yeah, comes down to.
Well, the bottom line is nobody cares when it really comes down to it. Nobody cares about color except for one color, and that's green.
Well, yeah, there you go.
I mean that trumps every color. So.
Oh, come on, man! Blue does all right too because that's being sexy.
I don't know. They it costs a lot of red blood in order to have a little bit of green.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yep. So Keith, what's going on your end of the world?
Not much. It's hot, humid. Just been tore apart my son's Prius yesterday. It was wrecked Prius. Took both batteries out. It has the 12-volt battery is a weird size. It's like a little bit bigger than a motorcycle battery.
It's a tractor battery.
Yeah, because I keep seeing people because I put an ad up to sell stuff off of it. Everybody's like, "Oh, how about the 12-volt battery?" I'm like, "Why does everybody want this?" Because it's a special size battery. Yep. I was like, "Oh, that's weird." And then they want the hybrid battery, but I ripped that thing out. I'm going to keep that because we bought him another Prius. So I'm just going to keep backup parts and stuff like that. And then there's like dash parts and stuff that are messed up on his new one. So I tore the whole dash apart. And
does it have that electric AC compressor?
Yeah.
I've been looking at a bunch of different stuff, and it looks like so when we talked about the electric AC compressors and talked more offline, there's those links I sent you, those companies, but I guess I've run into a couple YouTube links that they're going with more so stuff off of electric vehicles or that have already come off of a vehicle trying to save some money. Do the junkyard thing, so to speak. I haven't gotten too in depth into it to see if it's worth it, but I know you had mentioned it, and it's something
a lot of people like the steering column or the electric steering. That's a big thing with those. I was
just gonna mention that the guys buying them and putting them in like
anything and everything.
Yeah, like little go-karts or buggies or whatever. I'm like, some guys like,
how about that? Out of a lot of my Mazda 3 had electric steering.
They want it off the Prius. I don't know why.
Yeah,
the guy wants the whole column and all of it. I'm like,
they just want to see one more Prius taken apart and off the road. That's why.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that 12-volt battery. I can't remember, but I think it's a lot of people want that because of the amp hour on it or whatever.
It's probably like a deep cycle or a more dense battery.
The one of the cars says Toyota on it, so somebody spent big bucks getting this battery.
Yeah, well, that's they had a recall. They had a recall on those batteries, and those are originally interstate batteries.
Oh, okay.
They're originally relabeled with the Toyota.
It's like
it wasn't that long ago. They had like 15 of those Priuses lined up out front, and one guy with a cart full of batteries just putting them in. And I was like, dude, seriously? And he goes, oh, yeah, they had a recall on this, on these batteries. So, but I can't remember. I remember looking at it, and I was like really surprised of the amp hour or the cold cranking on it. Because it looked like, I figured it was just a lawnmower battery or whatever.
It looks like, yeah.
And but the amp hour was very, I mean, and the cranking was pretty stout for the little battery.
And then the exhaust is seriously probably like 3/4. Because I'm looking underneath, I'm like, because people want the catalytic converters off that car too.
Yeah.
And the exhaust is like 3/4 inch. It's got to be. It's so
Wow.
freaking tiny. It's tiny. I'm like,
what year Prius?
2009.
2009.
Yeah, second gen.
Yeah, well, they killed. Well, here, around here on the used market, a Prius cat was going for about $2,000, and they were being stolen left and right. And so here they made it so that the junk guy had to be licensed, and then when he bought the cat from the car, he had to have a VIN. The VIN had to be put onto the cat, and had to have paperwork showing they couldn't buy it. So it killed that market. Nobody will touch. I have a handful of cats here, and I have a guy coming. Hopefully, he was supposed to have been here last week, but to pick up all my metal, all my scrap stuff. I have a handful of transmissions and a couple of engines that I still need to get rid of. And I told him I had some cats, and he said he won't even touch them. He said it's not even the aggravation and going through the politically BS crap, because I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I had some other cats, and people are offering me the most for this Prius cat. And I'm like, what is in this thing that?
It's a lot more. Well, that's
precious metals or something.
Yeah, there's some. I can't remember. The name will pop in my head probably about 3 a.m. and I'll have to text you the name of the metal. But because that's like, I have a handful of German ones, older Germans, and they're worthless. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, I got like the stainless steel stuff that was $1 million back in the day. But whatever's inside of it's not worth it. Like the newer stuff. I can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me in a minute.
This platinum. Is it gold? Let me look. Why are
you have
iridium,
and there was something else. Because I got one guy. I tell you, it boggles my mind, like I said, the stuff that I see. But he's got because those spark plugs with the iridium spark plugs.
Yeah.
And he sits there at lunch while he's eating, and he's snipping the ends of the iridium off the plugs. Oh. And he's got this like 2 5-gallon buckets of all just iridium sitting there. And he told me he got X amount of money for that shit. And I'm like, dude, you're really hard up, dude. I thought I was tight. Dude.
How many hours did it take him to get whatever?
Dude, I mean, like I said, I'll walk across a busy intersection to fucking pick a penny up. You know what I'm saying? I'm tight, but Jesus, man, that guy's sitting there snipping the iridium off the plugs.
Yeah, I took an AC condenser coil, and because if you separate, it was aluminum fins and copper tube. And I sat there and cut all, I don't know how, 5-gallon buckets, filled both of those up with the aluminum, and then had copper. And I brought it in, and the guy's like, all right, it's this much. I'm like, okay. And I thought I was going to get, I'm like, well, I'm going to get a ton of money. I didn't get that much. Yeah. And then I figured out, I'm like, I spent like 2 hours doing that. And I got this, it was like $5 an hour or something. I'm like, that wasn't worth it. So the next time I go, here you go, just take this whole thing together. And I got a little bit less. I was like,
because it's dirty metal versus clean or whatever.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The only thing I spend time is taking off the plastic tubes off the radiators. I'll take the plastic tanks, off the radiators. So you just get the aluminum, and I'll do that. But besides that, I'm not. I'm not going to spending all the time breaking stuff down anymore.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Brian,
used to do it. I'd bring home a transmission and I'd strip the transmission
Oh, wow.
down from steel, from aluminum to the brass inside and whatever. And, like I said, when you had nothing else to do and it was, middle of the night, it wasn't a big deal, but dude, it was a lot of work for nothing, for very little.
Yeah.
And now you're like, now I don't even take this. I just have a guy come to my house and
Yeah. I just have a trailer. I just put all my metal on the trailer, and I'll separate stainless and aluminum and and just
yeah,
throw
they
that in
got
my
kind
truck.
of squirrely around here because I can't remember. I had one shop that went out of business, and the guy said I could have whatever I went. And I went by on a that Saturday morning and loaded up the tool truck with all the stuff that he left around. And of course, when I went to go to the recycle, they gave me a bunch of shit because they want to know where I got it because unfortunately the dirt bags around here go to the new school and rip the bleachers out and cut all that and take
the aluminum seats out. Yeah,
they'll take all the aluminum out of the bleachers, or they'll knock the light post down. Car will hit a light post and a bunch of gypsies will come around and grab the light post and throw it in the back of a van and try to go get. So
I heard on the radio, I don't know where it happened, but this morning on the I guess the morning show, when they have their music and then they do their morning show, it wasn't here, but some town or something put in a new playground in a park for the kids, and the next day it was gone. Like the jungle gym, everything. Like I mean, even on the radio, they were like, "Who does that?" Like, there's so many offenses here. It's for the kids.
Yeah.
It's tax money put that there, and then there's like who even thinks of that?
yeah.
And, like,
it was probably the people that put it in.
Right.
Just
Possible.
quick unbolted it and just got it out of there again.
Don't tighten that bolt. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, leave 'em
Yeah.
loose when you put it in.
Labor and knowledge and skill to remove it, and nobody sees anything. Nobody knows nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it.
Inside job.
You don't see them walking down the street, two of them carrying a light pole, brand new.
No, a whole playground.
yeah, whole playground.
Whole playground. Oh God!
And I don't
be-
know. Maybe like you said, Paul, the inside job. Maybe the first question is was there any rebar in that concrete that was left in the ground? Any rebar or any? And was the concrete a proper mix?
Right. Or did the aliens come and get it? I'm going to turn my phone around and you all can see a picture of the full moon in Texas tonight.
The full moon is it a full moon tonight?
Yeah,
It
it's
loses a
full, man.
little bit through the phone, I think.
Yeah, it just looks like someone with a flashlight.
Yeah, exactly. Back out in the field.
Yeah.
But it's dark, I'll say that much.
Yeah, it is dark.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Man.
You see some trees.
Yeah, there's some trees or something there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dark.
I'd go outside and take my phone, but you'd see probably a hot, clear sky. The sun's still up cooking us.
Yeah.
It was supposed to hit 110 today.
Crazy.
What did
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard it was over 100 in Bangor, Maine.
It was.
Yeah, Maine is like they're like really cranked up. I'm sure it was crazy up of Maine.
I put it in the group chat at 5:00 Tucson time, and it was 104. But the weird thing is in Marana, which isn't that far from me, it said it was at 111. So I don't buy the 104. It was telling me. Phoenix was 110, is what it's saying at 5. That's
the heat that we got today is like which seems kind of weird, but that was what was up in Maine in that area that being pushed down. They were really hot up there.
I'm sorry.
Tomorrow's gonna be 100 here.
I mean, just to give you an
hotter-
idea.
Texas.
Let me see.
Oh, the heat.
Yeah, so yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, what the breeze in Arizona feels like.
Yeah. The dry heat that we get.
When anybody
Dry heat, yeah.
when anybody tells me, "Hey, it's a dry heat," I'm like, "Yeah, so's an oven, you idiot." Like, I mean, I've been in the humidity. It's not fun. Hot is hot. It doesn't matter. It's just not fun.
Yep.
So I'm not taking away from any of you guys that are in the humidity. I feel for you too. But when somebody tells me, "But it's a dry heat," I'm like, "Go open your oven and stick a fan in there, and tell me how good that feels." It does not feel good.
Nope.
You know.
Right.
And when you go in the shade and it's still oven hot,
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the shade. Yeah, it's nice that the sun ain't beating the hell out of you, but it's still oven hot.
Well, they
Yep.
claim that if it hadn't been for air conditioning, none of those cities down in the West would be there because too much heat.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I know. So growing up, the one thing that we have to deal with the monsoon. So we had swamp coolers growing up, and when it's dry heat, the swamp coolers are awesome. They're nice and cool. They don't run a lot of electricity, but and we're starting to go into the monsoons. They're saying in this weekend, officially we're in the monsoons, but we haven't gotten any rain. We're supposed to get it this weekend and into the next week. But during the monsoons, when it's humid, that swamp cooler don't do nothing.
Mm-mm.
It's nice. It's nice in May and early June, but the rest of the summer, it's just you gotta really be right under the fan, under the blower, for it to feel okay, I guess, comfortable. But it just no. Then you're living in humidity.
Yep.
Crazy. Wait, guys, I gotta
that.
jump ship.
Oh, tonight.
All right, Lewis.
All right, I tell you, I'm gonna next Thursday is the first debate, presidential debate.
Yeah.
I really want to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So,
funny.
I got a feeling, I'm gonna come in. I don't know if it's an hour or 2 hours. I know it starts at 9.
You're talking like that it's still going to happen and that there isn't going to be some excuse for it not to happen.
I'm waiting for all of that, Paul. I really am. I'm waiting for all of it. But if it does go off, I want to see it.
Well, the only thing that I like about these set is that they were going to have somebody controlling the mics.
Oh yeah.
So it was going to be timed so that when your time is up, it was going to be turned off.
And they decided today they had like a coin toss. So they had I think Biden got the option to, because he's sitting, I guess, to either choose the podium he's at or have the last word. And he took the podium choice. It's like, because
some kind of game show.
Well, by the time they get to the end, he won't be able to make a last word.
No, yeah.
So, I got to see it. So I'll come in late if you guys are still here.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to guarantee my last word against Trump, no matter what the situation was. I'd want the last word.
Well, right. I mean, most people would, but let's face it. I don't think Biden could put together a cognizant last word.
Well, but the thing with me is podium choice or last word. What's the difference in the podium choice? I mean, you're standing like side by side. I mean, what?
Left or right?
It depends on where the teleprompter is.
But I'll tell you what, they have no audience. There's no live audience in the place. Yeah. So, because Trump wanted a live audience because he plays off that. Plus, he wanted to have to walk in just to show that Biden can't walk in down an aisle. And they just killed all of that on him. They said no. They're
going to walk out to, and no steps, probably no steps.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, before I go, let me throw a thing out real quick. Then we'll end the stream.
I need proof that it's not a hologram AI image.
Good luck.
Yeah. All right. So listen, if you want to see any of the replays from Playing in Traffic, please go check them out at PowerTube TV on YouTube, or you can go to our YouTube channel, Playing in Traffic, and check out our previous and new. All of our new stuff goes on there as well. And you can check out the podcast. If you're riding in your car, you can go on YouTube, and all of our shows are on the podcast section. So go check it out. And we are out.
Excellent.
Awesome.
See you, YouTube.